We've all seen this before, as has every leader of every country in the world. A sitting president of the United States can't put together a coherent answer to a simple question. He pauses, appears puzzled, and then comes up with a string of words that appear to have entered his brain via an earpiece. Oh, and let's not forget, he always seems to become angrier and angrier as he stumbles through his mental breakdowns, as if he's pissed at the person that asked the question. If the stakes weren't so high, it would be comical, like it was during the presidential campaign when absolutely no one on the face of this planet thought he would be put into his current position. Little did we know the lengths they would go. But anyways. Now before we get into his latest stumbling bumbling breakdown over on CNN on Wednesday night, let's take a quick commercial break to pay some bills. Friends, I'm going to point out the obvious. It seems like big government and big tech are trying to destroy America. Everything they touch turns into a disaster. Pretty soon the whole system will fall apart, and the first thing to fall will be the food supply chain. So, do you have enough emergency food to get through a serious long-term crisis where you can't get food at the grocery store? Most people don't, and they'll panic when the time comes. That is why the smart move now is to get long-term storage emergency food before things go bad. I highly recommend My Patriot Supply. They've served millions of American families and have over 41,000 4-star and 5-star reviews. Their mission is your survival. And right now, you can save 25% on a 4-week kit of emergency food that will save the day, probably soon. Order a starter kit for each member of your family, and they'll ship everything quickly and discreetly to your door. Go to preparewithresurgence.com so you can claim your 4-week emergency food kit and save 25% in the process. That's preparewithresurgence.com, or hit that link in the description box. Okay, so Wednesday saw the supposed president of the United States engage in a town hall format discussion on friendly territory, with Don Lemon moderating on CNN. It must have been one of those, quote, good days that dementia sufferers sometimes enjoy. In Biden's case, meaning no lid was called, removing the leader of the free world from public scrutiny. You know, calling a lid is an unprecedented admission that the President of the United States is not in full command of his mental faculties and would have Democrats demanding that the 25th Amendment be invoked if a Republican were in office. But our spineless and pretty much worthless Republicans are far too polite and far too scared of the media to make an issue of it with Biden. Even with the friendliest, least demanding moderator imaginable, Don Lemon, it was a challenge for Joe Biden to get through the entire hour. I'm guessing that his handlers must have believed that with familiar questions and maybe a good earpiece helping him along, he could handle the challenge. Well, they were definitely wrong. Asked an unchallenging question about 12-year-olds and vaccinations, he drifted off in the middle of a sentence and, as he so often does, looked down, got that Deliverance banjo player look on his face, and appeared to be listening to something in his earpiece, and then strung together a sequence of words that were not grammatically related to the rest of the sentence, but which, on their own, were coherent, as if repeating what he had just heard. Let's watch.
Follow up on a question asking, when will children under 12 be able to get vaccinated?
Soon, I believe. Now, look, one of the things that I committed to do when I got elected, I said
How soon is soon, Mr. President? Not to
well, and that's what, let me finish the question. The answer, soon in the sense that I do not tell any scientist what they should do. I do not interfere. And so they are doing the examinations now, the testing now, and making the decision now. When they are ready, when they've done all the scientific need be done to determine children at ages 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, they in fact all have different makeups. They're developing. They're trying to figure out whether or not there's a vaccination would affect one child that's at such and such an age and not another child. That's underway, just like the other question that's illogical. And I've heard you speak about it because you always, I'm not being solicitous, but you're always straight up about what you're doing. Yeah. And the question is whether or not we should be in a position where you are, why can't the experts say, we know that this virus is in fact It's going to be, or excuse me, we know why all the drugs approved are not temporarily approved, but permanently approved. Yeah. That's underway, too. I expect that to occur quickly.
Well, that means...
Here's the transcript. I thought it would be fun to go through it. And the question is whether or not should be in a position where you are. Why can't the experts say, quote, we know that this virus is going to be. We know all the drugs are temporarily approved, but are permanently approved, period, unquote. Wow. Folks, every head of government in the world knows this president is not up to the job. Compassion demands that we urge him to resign and get the care that he needs. But common sense says President Kamala Harris would be a worse disaster, and even Democrats know it. So we're kind of stuck, I guess. We really need to clean house in the midterms and basically confine this guy to Andy Griffin reruns in his basement, only letting him out to pardon turkeys and give out Easter baskets. And if you somehow could get Jill's power-hungry ass out of his ear, he'd probably have no problems doing that.
My name is Joe Biden. I love ice cream. I'm an ice cream guy. Is the ice cream down that way? Y'all gotta eat this ice cream.
Most of this came by way of the American Thinker. If you liked it, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment down below. There's a PayPal link in the description box, so please put $1 in the bucket on the way out the door. I'd like to thank everyone for all your donations. They're much needed and much appreciated. Now, with all that being said, we'll see you next time.
Come on, move. Move. Easy, easy.